Can you talk a little bit about maybe how you first met and how you developed a relationship of Romeo and Juliet?
Actually, we met at 6566 Dean Street, do you remember? And Franco paired herself together right from the get-go.
That's right.
We didn't do it with anyone else. He paired other people and swapped and changed them. But he said, you and you, Leonard, Olivia, you two together.
Wow.
So that was good.
I'd like to say one thing which is really interesting, because we actually worked when we were very young. And I worked in a theatre called the Albury Theatre, or the New Theatre, and Olivia worked in the Wyndhams. And I played the lead as the Artful Dodger in Oliver, and she was one of the girls in The Prime of Miss June Brodie.
One of the lead girls.
One of the leads. So we actually worked almost together because there was just like a little street that separated our theatres. And then when Franco saw us together, he thought, darling, they look wonderful together, you know, and that's what they decided to do.
Now let's just see if they can act.
It's very challenging roles, but you'd actually worked. You'd been with Redgrave on stage, so you had come from stage work and weren't really new to act. But was it were you scared to death by doing this, as being cast as Romeo and Juliet in a huge film, or were you go into it very subtly?
It was all very exciting, as I remember. There were 800 girls and boys in London, and we all got to share. He had the Capulet jacket, the Montague jacket on, and I had this white dress, and when we were finished, we'd have to undress and give the dress to the next girl and thing to the next boy. And it didn't really hit us how big it was. It started out to be a 3-week television special for the BBC in London, the first colour special. And then Paramount heard about it, and it became, the response was unbelievable. And so before we knew it, it was this big Paramount picture. So it was very overwhelming.
I was excited when I saw it for the first time, actually.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yes.
Not so bad, you know.
Thank you.
And we went to Tottenham Court Road. I just remembered this. We went to Tottenham Court Road together when we were first cast and weren't allowed to tell anyone. And we sat alone and we watched The Taming of the Shrew with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Alone. Do you remember that?
Very much. What a beautiful movie.
It was a matinee, and we were both like, "Oh, we're going to be doing that with him." It was overwhelming, very exciting. It was wonderful.
I remember the first time I saw him. He came in, and I wanted to make a good impression because I had actually realised that this was going to be quite big. And I said, "Oh, Mr. Zeffirelli, that you do lots of opera-like, and what I thought would be really nice is that if we got on very well and everything." And he said, "Stop." And he turned to one of his assistants and said, "How can he speak Shakespeare's beautiful iambic pentameter when he can't even speak English?" So, because, I mean, my accent, I don't know, you guys probably know, but in London we have people called Cockneys, and they've got this very sort of strange way of talking, and that's the kind of people that I was from, so that's the way I was talking to Franco. So what he did, he took me, and he sent me to stay with a wonderful actor's family called Anthony Nichols, and I stayed there for about 6 months to learn how to speak proper, and which sort of worked. And then after that, it was straight from the projects straight into the Savoy Hotel, so we felt no pain. And
But then he put us with Jean Scott, and we worked with Jean Scott 4 hours a day. Do you remember that sweet old lady?
Oh, I remember her.
She
Yes,
had to
was
get rid of
funny.
your Cockney accent and my Argentinian tilt. So we worked really hard before we ever got to Italy. We were doing. I was at Wyndham.
The actor Olivia Hussey, best known for her role in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. According to the information that's coming in, she died on Friday. That was on December 27th at the age of 73. Her cause of death was confirmed to the press by filmmaker and friend Marc Huestis, who actually revealed that her cause of death had been health-related issues with regards to cancer. I adored her. She had so much love and was the most beautiful Juliet ever, on screen and in real life. She exuded love and life. Within an hour of sharing the news of Olivier's passing. Her Instagram account had close to 6,000 followers responding, and of course they released a statement like you can see on the screen saying that it's with profound sadness that we announce the passing on of Olivia Hussey Eisley, who went peacefully at home surrounded by her loved ones. And as we grieve this immense loss, we also celebrate Olivia's enduring impact on our lives and the industry as a whole. The Argentine-born British performer had a career on screen that stretched 6 decades, but it was the hit star-crossed Lovers film, which actually brought which was mixed with romance and a bit of tragedy, with the youth, and it had a cup of youthfulness, sexuality, and of course, during that time in the 60s, it solidified, the reputation of both the actor and the actress who featured in that film. The film is seen as one of the definitive film versions of the Shakespearean play, and for years was shown in classrooms across the world. By that time, Olivia was 16 and the guy who played with was 17. That is on the screen, in that interview you've just heard at the beginning of this video. They really looked cooperative. The vibe was always real. They matched the energy. Even if in their later stages they were always together holding a couple of interviews. And of course, that movie is so popular amongst so many people globally, and we send our deepest condolences to the family, friends, the fans, and everyone who was close to Olivia Hussey. Rest in power, the Queen.